We are not dismantling the NBC networks. By January 1989, Westwood One announced NBC Radio News would move to Mutual's Arlington, Virginia, facility. Engineering operations followed along with the Affiliate Relations Department. The source, which had been reworked into both supplying short-form features and production elements for radio stations in 1988, moved their operations to Los Angeles by 1990. Mutual and NBC newscasts were further streamlined in 1992 with jointly produced newscasts in overnights and weekends, and both networks airing unbranded sportscasts through the weekend. NBC TalkNet's operations also moved to the Arlington facilities in 1992 and largely continued until 1993, when it was limited solely to Bruce Williams' weeknight show, ceding the other 3-hour slot to Jim Bohannon's Mutual Talk Show, and was eventually rebranded as a Westwood One program. Infinity Broadcasting took over operations of Westwood One in 1994 after it sold to them competing syndicator Unista Radio Networks. As part of the deal, Infinity purchased 25% of Westwood One, becoming its largest shareholder. Westinghouse Broadcasting's parent Westinghouse Electric Corporation, which bought out CBS and renamed itself CBS Corporation the following year, acquired Infinity for just shy of $5 billion in June 1996, equivalent to $10 billion in 2024. An agreement was then reached for Westwood One to manage the CBS radio network, merging the descendants of the three original U.S. radio networks, NBC, CBS and Mutual. Another realignment in the fall of 1997 had the NBC radio network name revived, but as an internal brand name for Westwood One affiliates that had adult, contemporary and country formats. The source was also reworked into a brand name for affiliates with formats that targeted 18-34 males. On the 31st of August, 1998, the combined Mutual/NBC newsroom in Arlington closed, with Mutual and NBC newscasts originating from CBS Radio News in New York. Westwood One then announced the full retirement of the Mutual name and ending of newscast production on the 17th of April, 1999, with NBC-branded newscasts produced by CBS restricted to Morning Drive, ET, on weekdays. This curtailing was made as affiliates largely aired NBC newscasts in the morning hours. Remaining NBC affiliates were offered CNN radio newscasts at all other times. CNN radio was also offered as a replacement for former Mutual affiliates. The change notably forced Wiz in Zanesville, Ohio, an NBC affiliate since 1939, to switch to ABC News. With only a very small number of affiliates that remained, an end date for production of NBC-branded newscasts cannot be determined, but Westwood One continued to promote the NBC radio network on their corporate website as late as 2004. While his show had been rebranded under his name, Bruce Williams left Westwood One in June 2001, effectively ending the NBC TalkNet service. In 1999, the last remaining program from the original NBC radio network, First Light, was changed to a Westwood One branded program and continued production until the 31st of July 2022. NBC News Radio, edit. Further information, NBC News Radio. The NBC name re-emerged on radio with NBC News Radio on the 31st of March, 2003, featuring NBC and MSNBC anchors and reporters, but limited to 1-minute newscasts on weekdays. Westwood One made the new service available to all radio stations the syndicator was affiliated with. Westwood One also began distributing an audio simulcast of Meet the Press to radio stations in 2004, a practice which continues to this day. Westwood One was spun off by majority owner CBS Corporation, one of two successors to the first Viacom, which acquired the first CBS Corporation in 1999, to the Gores Group in 2007. On the 21st of October, 2011, Dial Global, a subsidiary of Oaktree Capital Management's Triton Media Group, acquired the majority of Westwood One's assets, including the distribution rights to NBC News Radio. This resulted in a wholesale rebranding of Westwood One programming. Dial Global announced on the 2nd of March, 2012, that it would end distribution of CNN radio newscasts and make NBC News Radio a full-time operation, with a majority of CNN affiliates switching to NBC. The new format consisted of twice-hourly newscasts. By September 2012, NBC Sports Radio was launched as a joint venture between NBC Sports and Dial Global, with Cumulus Media acquiring Dial Global and amid plans to merge it into its own radio network. Dial Global reverted to using the Westwood One name in September 2013. On the 15th of December 2014, concurrent with the launch of Westwood One News, a white-label news service established with a content-sharing deal with CNN, Westwood One ended production of NBC News Radio newscasts. Failing to sign up enough major market affiliates, Westwood One ended 24/7 programming on NBC Sports Radio at the end of 2018, and shut down operations outright in March 2020. Beginning in July 2016, NBC Universal licensed the name NBC News Radio to iHeartMedia, utilizing talent and reporters from iHeartMedia's existing 24/7 news network, made available to the group's approximately 850 radio stations. The reintroduced service included an hourly newscast along with ancillary specials and long-form breaking news coverage. Notes, edit.
Good. That was a lot of information. But that was old radio system in United States. So I have to look what to read next. It's 7 p.m. I can read them. We can read one more. So let's upload right away. Upload and then charge my camcorder. Read again a little bit before 8 p.m.